Hi there, and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature and Flowers Photoshop lesson. Today I'm going to show you some more advanced ways of doing some editing in Photoshop using layer masks and doing a color splash to show some of the techniques. You can see here I've got a layer mask, which is the thing that looks like this here. I've got my black and white background and I've got my colourful flower. I'll talk you through how to do this so you can follow the instructions really simply. Okay, so first of all, we need our base photo. We're going to duplicate it by right clicking on it and clicking duplicate layer. We should then have two layers. Okay, the background is the one that we are going to make black and white. So we are going to go to the image menu, adjustments, and click on the black and white setting. Click OK, and we will now see when I close the eye on the background copy layer that we have it in black and white. I'm going to tell you how to name a layer as well, so we're going to call it flower on that layer, and obviously the background is now the background, so you can see straight away which layer we need to work on. Now, Photoshop has got some advanced features that I haven't shown you before, and it works very similar to the Magic Cut facility in Photopea. So if we go to Select and we go to Subject, the computer in Photoshop will use its AI brain and it will determine what is the subject of the picture, and it will then give a flashing line around it, as you can see here. So it's automatically selected the area for us to save us having to do it ourselves. Now, this is fantastic because all we need to do now to make the color splash effect, because we've already got the background in black and white, is click on a layer mask. So once we click on the layer mask, it will mask every other part of the picture. You can see in the little thumbnail here that isn't the flower. Now, if I want to edit the flower, which I might want to do some enhancements to it in a minute, I need to make sure I click over on the layer menu where it says flower, click onto the picture of the flower, not on the layer mask. I've got a white line around it. Then I can go to image, adjustments, and I can look at things like my saturation and color. So I can slightly saturate it to make it brighter, make it darker or lighter here. And I can also go to my image, brightness and contrast, give it a bit more contrast to make it really pop. And play around with the brightness of it here. And you can see just some small adjustments makes the image absolutely pop. So if I compare it to the original, it's quite faded out here. So now I've enhanced it onto my color splash. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed using the new technique. So remember, we're using the layer mask. We're making sure we click on the layer with the picture of the image to do the adjustments to, and we're naming our layers. Okay, have fun experimenting with that, and let me see what you get on with. Add some comments in the comment section below, and you can add some examples of your work if you like. Okay, thank you for watching. Obviously, if you're enjoying Quentin Carpenter Nature and Flowers, be sure to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Okay, thank you for watching and goodbye. Hi there and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at making a Boken effect portrait using Photoshop 2020, using the new subject select tool to select our background and select our images. Okay, to do this, here's the example I've got here. You can see I've got a layer with a cutout face on it and a Boken background, which is a photograph you take where you deliberately unfocus the camera and point it at fairy lights. You could get Christmas tree lights, take a picture of them, make sure you've got your camera setting on blur, and then you will get an effect like this. Okay, to do this, we're going to start with a background picture. We'll cut it out into this. We'll add some effects to the image, and we will add the other layer. So first thing we're going to do is go File, Open. We're going to find our background picture. You can see the new version of Photoshop says it doesn't accept raw files, but if you click OK a couple of times, it magically does, which is really nice. So for the latest version of your phone photographs, you'll be able to do this in Photoshop with no problem. Okay, once we've got this, we're going to be using a new tool. So we're going to duplicate the layer first, click OK. Then we are going to use the select, and we're going to select the subject of the picture, which in that case is the face. So we click on subject, wait for it to process what it thinks the subject is, and you can see it automatically masks out what we want to do. Now we could use a layer mask, or if we're going to do it really simply, we're just going to cut the picture out straight away. So to do that, we press Ctrl J on the keyboard, and we will then have our cutout face, which is absolutely perfect, exactly what we want to be able to use to do our Bokeh background. Now, one of the other features that I want to show you is we want to add the background, the new background in, and we're going to do that by going File, and we're going to go to Place Embedded. We're going to find our picture, and it's going to embed it into the image as a separate layer. You can see it here. We want to rotate it round, so it's the other way round, so it's like that. So we turn it using the mouse. Once we've done that, press Enter, and then we can rescale it so that it fills the page how we want it to be. Okay, now we want that to be behind the image of the face, so we click on the layer menu here, we drag that behind, and now we've got the face in front of the lights. You'll notice on the finished version we've got the lights and the face all blended together. Now there's several ways of doing that. The most obvious way is to change the opacity of the face like so, and you can see that it starts to blend in. But you'll notice that it's not as bright or vivid as the one we've got here. So instead of doing that, what we're going to do first is put the opacity back to 100%. We're going to go to do some adjustments to our image of the face, and we're going to look at the color balance. We want to try and match some of these blues and reds in the background. So we're going to move the slider into the red section, and a bit more into the blue, and then a bit more into the magenta. So we're really accentuating these tones in our image like so. Once we're happy with our selection of these three sliders, we're going to click the OK button, and we've now got our face blending with the color scheme. And then to make the effect really work well, like I say, we could change the opacity, but it just tends to fade the image out. So instead we're going to look at our layer modes. We're going to try them out and see what they do for different ones. Darken makes it a bit too dark. Multiply is a bit silhouette-y. What we're looking for, maybe overlay, no. We're looking for the one that says hard light, and that keeps the background and the foreground linking together really nicely for this image. There we are. There is our adapted image, and you can see it works really effectively. Now what we might experiment with, depending on what your background is and whether it will work with the dots and the Bokeh effect, is we could change the opacity of that layer slightly, making sure we've got our background open, and we could bring in some element of the beach, so it's like I'm at a beach party, and then you can compare which one you think is more effective, this one with the beach effect or that one with just the background. There's not much in it. I'll change the view so you can see it, so I'm going to fit on screen, so then I'll be able to flick between the two. So we've got known and we've got the beach effect. Okay, these are great ways to adapt and modify and improve and refine our photographs for our course, and we can do it with lots of things. So remember, it's the select, and we're looking for the subject here. Okay, have fun experimenting with your photos, and if you've enjoyed this video, obviously pop over to the YouTube, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell, and you'll see when I post new videos. Okay, thank you very much for watching and enjoy. Okay, thank you and goodbye. Hi there, and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers Photoshop tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to do a piece of work inspired by Reynald Drouhin. And to do this, we're going to be doing a geometric shape on top of a landscape, and we'll be using the layer mask to create a filtered effect so you can see the shape that has been reflected and turned around. It's an interesting shape to make. So first of all, I'll show you how to make the shape, and then I'll show you how to add the layer mask, and it's all very straightforward. I made a Photo P tutorial about this a little while ago, which you may have watched, and if not, there'll be a link in the description below. Okay, so to show you how to do this, you need a landscape. This is a picture of Hastings Pier in the morning. You'll then need to create a shape. The shape I'm going to use is in the shape tool, the rectangular tool. I'm going to draw the shape of a square, and I'm going to make sure that both the numbers are the same. so that it is actually a square that I'm drawing. And there you go, there's my shape. Now, once I've got my shape, I'm going to need to rotate it, so I'm going to move the mouse and turn the shape by 45 degrees, and I've got a square shape. Now, you'll notice on the finished one that this part of the square and this part of the square don't line up. So to make the shape the most effective way I can see how, we are going to cut 2 bits of the square off, and we're going to turn it around and put it back together again. So we're going to use the rectangular marquee tool. We are going to draw a box over some of the square, leaving some of the slope. Once we've drawn the box, we're going to go Edit, and we're going to go Backspace on the keyboard. It's going to not let us because we haven't rasterized our layer. I'll probably tell you about this many times. We've rasterized the layer, then we're going to go Edit and Cut. Now we're going to go onto the other side and draw another square over part of the image like so, leaving a smaller bit of triangle, and we're going to cut that out as well. Then we are going to take half the image like so, and we're going to copy and paste. We're going to cut, and then we're going to paste it. So Edit, Cut, Edit, Paste, and you can see we've got the shape cut. Now we're going to flip it. So Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal, and you can see now when we put it back together again, we've got that distinctive shape that he uses in his work. And we'll check that it's lined up. Once we've done that, we will stick them back together again by pressing on the top layer and clicking Shift, clicking on the bottom layer and clicking Merge Layers. You now see we've got one layer with the shape on it, which we can then move around the image. Now, to make the effect that we need with the rotated landscape, first we need to do is duplicate the background layer. So we're going to go to the background layer here, right click, duplicate layer, click OK. We're going to turn this layer upside down, so we're going to go Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical, and you can see that that layer is now upside down. We're going to click on our shape. We are going to use the magic wand tool and select the area of the shape, so you've got this flashing line around it, and then we are going to add a layer mask. Not on that layer though, so I beg your pardon, we're going to this layer, and we're going to add the layer mask. And you can see that we've now got the right way around in this black shape here. One last thing to do is hide the layer with the shape on it, and you can now see we have got the shape over the pier. Now the really good reason for using the layer mask, if we get rid of the locking mechanism between the mask and the layer, and I click on the layer mask itself, I can then move the layer mask around and find the exact place I wish to put my rotated shape. It's a really good technique to use using layer masks so that you can have complete control over exactly where your image goes. And what's so lovely about this photograph here is the way that the clouds are mirrored against the pier and against the sky, and it's all equally shaped. We could even make it slightly smaller if necessary, so that it really does work in the style of the artist. There you go. Have fun making your own rotated landscape reflections. You can cut out different shapes and create all sorts of things. Another artist, Victoria Seamer, does something very similar, and I'd like to see your own versions of this. If you do a really good one and you want to share it with me, post it in the comments below so we can see it. And obviously don't forget to go over to hit that subscribe button and tick the notification bell. And have fun making your own rotated landscapes. Okay, and goodbye. Hi there, and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers video. Today I'm going to show you how to make a rotated face with pentagons as shapes and how you're going to turn them around to create one of these effects. There's an artist called Gordon Magnan who does something similar, and we're going to have a go at doing our own today. Okay, first thing you need to do is have a portrait of a face, or a face portrait. You'll then need to use the polygon tool, which is down on the toolbar here. You'll need to select the polygon tool, and then you'll need to decide how many sides you want your polygon to have. At the moment, I want it to have 5 sides, so I'll type 5 in there. Then we simply draw our polygon shape using the mouse and turning it as we get it to the right size that we want. And when we have it, it will then appear on our screen. We then move it to where we want to place it on the face so we can get that bit to cut out. And we need to go over to where the layers are, where it says polygon 1, right click and rasterize the layer. Then once we've done that, we use the magic wand tool, which is in this tool menu here, magic wand tool. Click on our shape so we get a flashing line around it. Hide the eye so we can't see that layer. Click on the background layer where the face is. Go edit, copy, and edit, paste, and you will see we have a now cut out part of the face. We can then use this to rotate by moving the mouse outside of the box and turning the mouse so that the image rotates. We can place it wherever we want to put it, like so. We then simply hide that layer, go back to our polygon layer, click on it so that it is grey, make it slightly smaller, move it over to the face, click onto the layer with the face on it, hide the eye on the polygon layer, so we have no eyes, only the eye on the background layer. Before we do that though, we obviously need to select it, so we use the magic wand, we click on the polygon, make sure on the right layer, otherwise that happens, so click on the polygon layer, hide the eye, go to the background layer, and go edit, copy, edit, paste. And you'll now see that we have another cutout shape. We then need to move the order of this above the other one. If we open them both, you can see where the new one is. Making sure we're on this layer, we then need to rotate it so that it fits our polygon pattern, like so. Maybe move it around slightly until we're happy with its arrangement. And when we are happy, we press enter. Then we repeat the process again. So if we hide those two layers, click on the polygon tool, make it smaller, place it where we want it, click on the magic wand tool, select the shape, hide the eye, go onto the background, go edit, copy, edit, paste, move that layer to the top of the pile, open all the eyes, turn it around, keep going, that way around this time. And you can see we're now building up our shape. We'll do 2 more, and then I'll show you how to add the drop shadows to them. So we press enter, hide the eyes, click on the polygon shape, go onto the magic wand tool, click on the shape, hide it, click on the background. In fact, we haven't made it small enough, so Control D to deselect, go to the polygon tool, make it smaller, go on to the magic wand tool, click on the polygon, hide it, go on the background, go edit, copy, edit, paste, go to the move tool, move it to the top of the pile, open all the eyes, get to the move tool, rotate it around where you want it. So we'll just do 1 more so I can show you the effect that we're after. So hide all the eyes, click on the polygon tool, make it smaller, place it where you want it, use the magic wand tool, click on it, hide it, scroll to the bottom, click on the background layer, edit, copy, edit, paste, bring that to the top, open all the eyes, then we need to rotate the top one, and there we have got our rotated face. Now it looks quite cool like that, but it would look even better if we added a drop shadow to it, as I show you on the one I showed you earlier, you can see it's got a darker edge to it. So to do this, we need to click on each layer individually, right click, go to blending options, go down to our drop shadow, make sure we tick it and also click here so we can then adjust the settings, set it to linear light, arrange it so there's no distance so it goes all the way around the object, and then click OK. And you can see there's a slight shadow to it now. Do the same thing to each layer, so blending options. Once you set it up, all we need to do is click on it and click OK. Scroll down to the next layer, right click, blending options, drop shadow, OK. The next layer, blending options, drop shadow, OK. And then finally, blending options and drop shadow, OK. There we go. There is our rotated face portrait. Hope you've enjoyed watching today's tutorial. Obviously, if you have, make sure you check out some more of my tutorials on Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers. There are playlists available and there'll be a link down here after the video. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you can be notified when I make my next video. Okay, thanks for watching and I hope you've enjoyed making a rotated face. Hi there and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers Photoshop tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make a floating glass sphere above the sea, as you can see in this image here. What we've got is the image as if we've got one of those glass balls that you take out taking photographs with. We've thrown it up into the air and we've captured this image. Okay, to do this we're going to need to have a photograph, and the first thing we're going to do is enhance the levels on it to make it really pop. So we're going to go Image, Adjustments, Levels. We're going to bring the black line into the edge of the graph here and the white line in here. I'm going to move the grey into that area so we've got a nice contrasting picture. Once we've done that, we're going to click OK. Then we are going to duplicate the layer by right clicking and clicking Duplicate Layer. Once we've got this, we are going to go to our Filter menu, Distort, and Spherize. We're going to make sure the sliding bar is all the way to the right, and we're going to click OK. And you can see it's made a big sphere version of our image. We're going to rescale this down to smaller and place it in the middle. We need to remove the padlock from this area here so we can squeeze it over so it becomes more of a sphere, like so. We're going to place it where we want it to go and press enter. Once we've done that, we're going to need to make an actual sphere shape so we can get rid of the background bits. We will draw, using the elliptical marquee tool, a circle shape, making sure the numbers are equal. Or as close to equal as you can get it. And then once you've done that, we're going to turn that into a layer mask by clicking on the layer mask tool here. And you can see it will layer mask out the area. We haven't quite got it big enough, so we're going to go back to the white square on this one, and we're going to make the image a little bit bigger. You see nothing is changing, so we get rid of the padlock, then we do it, and you will see that the image can then be changed so that it fits how we want it to go. We can make any adjustments to our image here as we like, so we're happy with it. And then press enter again, and we should have everything where we want it. Now we need to add some shadows to the edges of our sphere to make it look more spherical. So we're going to make a new layer above this one. We're going to get the paintbrush tool. We're going to make sure we've got black selected and a soft edge brush, and then we're going to go along the edge where we want to make it darker and paint in a darker area like this. And then we're going to change the opacity of that so that it just fades nicely into the image to make the sphere look spherical. And once we've done a bit of this, we're going to add another new layer and we're going to do the same thing and add some highlights at the top area. So we'll switch to white, paint some white highlights in up here, as if the light's catching on it, and again change the opacity of these two layers here so we can make it as bright as we think it will work. If we want to add a little bit more in, we can add a little bit more. And if we've added too much of the black, we can use the eraser tool and slightly take some of that out. Now, the next thing we need to do is look at the actual sphere itself and change the opacity of that ever so slightly so that you can start to see some of the background through, because what we want is to give the illusion that it is a floating sphere of glass, so there'll be a small amount of the background showing through as well. And there you pretty much have it. There is our floating sphere above the sea. Okay, if you've enjoyed watching this video, have a go at making one yourself and let us know how you get on in the comments below. Okay, thanks for watching and take care and goodbye. Hi there and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers Photoshop tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to do one of these torn paper effects over a portrait. You can see what we have here. We have like an old sepia style photograph with really bright, vibrant eyes shining through a ripped piece of paper. To do this, we're going to use 3 layers. We're going to have a torn piece of paper photograph, a background layer with the colour photograph, and a foreground photograph in black and white. Okay, I'll talk you through step by step in real time, show you how to do this. So the first thing we're going to need to do is have a photograph of a face. From this, we might want to make some adjustments to the brightness and contrast. So we will go to brightness and contrast, give it slightly more contrast, make it slightly darker or slightly lighter. To make the real brightness shine out, we might adjust the saturation slightly as well to make it really quite bright, like so, and click OK. Once we are happy with the adjustments we have made to the face, we will leave that layer alone and we will add in the torn paper. So we're going to go File, Place Embedded. I've taken the photograph of a torn piece of paper already, so I will find that and I will add it to the picture and click Place. On this layer, once it loads, you will see that I have got a piece of paper and I have ripped a section of it out so that it looks like this. Okay, what we need to do next from our ripped piece of paper is remove this section from the photograph so we don't have it in our final picture. There's a couple of different ways to do that, but I'm going to show you the quick select way. So we're going to use the quick select tool, which is over near the object select tool. We're going to click on the plus and we're going to make sure it's relatively big, and then we're going to click like so. You can see if it doesn't quite fit the area, we're going to use the minus and just take out the little bits that don't quite fit where we want it to, like so. Once we have done this and we've got a flashing line in the area, we are going to go to select and then inverse, and you'll see we have a flashing line around the whole area like so. Once we've done this, we're going to add a layer mask to it by clicking the layer mask button. As you can see now, we have got the image appearing through the hole. To make it look more effective, we're going to add a little bit of blending options, and we're going to add a drop shadow in. So we're going to go over to here to our drop shadows. We're going to make sure that we've got this on normal, like so. And we're going to make sure we're on the drop shadow. That's right, we're going to make sure we're on linear light here. We've got a decent amount of spread, like so, and a fair amount of distance. Click OK, and we've added our drop shadow, and you can see that it makes the picture look like it is behind the piece of paper. Okay, so far so easy, I hear you say. The next bit is very straightforward as well. We're going to duplicate the background layer. So we're going to right click, duplicate layer, click OK. We are then going to turn this layer black and white. So we're going to go to Image Adjustments, Black and White. Click OK, and you can now see we've got black and white face and a color face and the torn paper. We need to move the layer order of the black and white face so that it is above the torn paper layer, like so. Once we have done that, it is a question of then filtering out the areas we don't want for our picture. You can see on the finished picture here, we've masked out some of it so it looks like an old-fashioned sepia style black and white newspaper sort of effect. So to do that, we will click the layer mask. Once we have selected the layer mask, we'll make sure we've got black and white selected down here. We've got the black showing at the top. We'll use the paintbrush, a relatively large size and a soft round one. We then look for where the torn edge is, go around it with our brush so that we can start to reveal the color of the layer underneath, like so. And we're looking for the bit where the paper is torn. We mask that over as well, so it looks like the torn paper. We then work our way around the edge to make it all look old-fashioned and fit in with our image, like so. Go around this area as well. Trying to keep some of the image and blend some of it out, like so, so that it looks like sort of old-fashioned style picture. Once we have done this and we're happy with it, we think, actually, do you know what? I missed a bit there. So I'm going to blend that bit back in a bit more. And it might be that we need to bring a bit back. So in which case we switch over our tools to white, start adding some more areas back in. So we've got all the bits where we want them. And we can swap it back over and blend again. So we've got it exactly how we want our image to look. And there you go, that is a torn paper effect portrait made using 3 layers and layer masks over the original image. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed watching today's tutorial. If you have, obviously pop over to the channel, hit that subscribe button and tick the notification bell. And while you're there, you can check out some of the other tutorials that I've made recently. You go to playlists, then you can have a look at all the different playlists that I've got, in particular the Photoshop tutorials, and you will see that there is a large selection of different Photoshop tutorials to watch, from the text portraits to cat and eye, color splashes, all sorts of things. There's a really fun one with some flowers in the face, a double exposure, Barbara Kruger style response. There's the layer masks comparing Photoshop and Photopea, which is a really good one. We've got the color splash using a flower. Another popular technique at the moment is the Boken Portrait, where you have like colored lights going through. We've looked at doing a Shepherd Fairy version of the famous graffiti artist. We've looked at doing landscapes, diamond landscapes. There's the really popular pixel stretch effect, the Banksy style graffiti effect. We've got the drip effect, which is a really popular one at the moment, and the disintegrated effect, etc. You can see here there are lots of different versions, and one of my particular favorites is obviously the double exposure with the clouds. So you can see there's a lot of tutorials on there if you want to learn how to do Photoshop and you're just starting out. Obviously start with something simple, maybe like the color splash rose, and if you're a little bit more advanced, have a go at doing maybe the text portrait or the Erwin Blumenfold response. Okay, thank you very much for watching and have a really great day, and goodbye. Hi there and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers Photoshop video. Today I'm going to show you how to make those really amazing glowing effects. As you can see in front of us here, we've got a picture of a flower which is a regular flower here, and we've made it glow, so it looks like it is shining and radiating light. Okay, we'll have a go from start to finish. I'll show you how to do this, and you can make text like this, or you can make objects, or even people. Okay, to do this, we're going to need a blank background, so we're going to pop over here. We've got a nice blank wall, and what we're going to do then is we're going to place a picture of a flower. So we're going to go to File, Place Embedded, find our flower, and click Place. And once we're happy with it, press Enter, and then we need to rasterize it by right-clicking and clicking Rasterize Layer. Once we've done that, we're ready to do the glowing effect. First we need to do is make the actual flower itself look like it's glowing. So we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, and we're going to give it some more saturation. So there's more colour being added, and we're going to make it slightly darker here so you can see the definition of it. And once we're happy with that, we're going to click OK, and we can see our glowing effect of the flower. Now, we're going to add some effects to the background so it looks like the light's bleeding out of it onto the background. So to do this, we are going to right-click on where the layer is, where the writing is. We're going to Blending Options. The first thing we're going to do is create a bevel and emboss, and we're going to make sure we click on it so it goes light grey. We're going to do an inner bevel here. We're going to make sure it is rendered smooth, and we're going to make sure it's quite soft along this bar here, and we'll check the size here so that we've got the right size. Once we're happy with this, we will click OK, and you'll see that we've now got sort of a darker edge here and a lighter edge here. Next, we need to add some of the glowing effect. To do that, we're going to use a drop shadow. So if we right click on here again, go back to Blending Options, and at the bottom of the menu you'll see we've got a drop shadow. So if we tick this and click on it, we can choose whatever color we want our drop shadow to be, and we can change the colors here and here. I'm going to go for something quite similar looking, and once we've got that, we're going to make it about 50% opaque so that you can see the background through it. We are going to make sure it's quite big so it glows outwards, and we're going to change the spread so it spreads more or less. We can adjust these, and you can see that if I move this bar, you can see it changing in real time. So as we make changes here, we can see what's going on over there. Once we're happy with that, I'll just take that down a little bit so that it glows out evenly. We're going to click OK. Now we could leave it with one drop shadow, but to make it more glowy, we're going to add another drop shadow with a lighter colour. So we're going to go to Blending Options, and you can see down here I can add a new drop shadow here, and I click on that one and I can make this one a lighter colour. I click OK. Now if I'm clever with my adjustments here, make the slice bigger or smaller, and the spread bigger and smaller, you can see how it affects the image and it really makes it pop. So once I've got those parts where I want them, click OK, and now I've got my really cool glowing flower, which is awesome. Okay, once done that, obviously save it, and we can use it in one of our projects. So we're going to call it Glow Effect 2. Now, I hope you've enjoyed watching how to make a glowing effect of a flower. If you have, obviously pop over to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tick the notification bell to enjoy my latest videos. Okay, thanks for watching, and have a really happy Christmas, as we are recording this just before Christmas, hence the glowy effect. Okay, thank you and goodbye. Hi there, and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers video. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these effects that look like we're dripping. So it's a dripping effect, and you can see here that we've got a cut out sweatshirt that's dripping down. It's very simple to do. All you need to do to create this effect is to have a photograph of a person and a photograph of some paint drips. Now, you can use masks, or you can do it the straightforward cut out way. Today we're going to do the cut out way. So we use the magic wand tool, we select all the area that the drips are, we go over to our person that we need to cut out, and we go edit, copy, edit, paste. And you can see that we've now cut out the shape of the drips. Next, we need to get rid of the background up here. So to do that, we go to select and subject. We wait for Photoshop to work out what the subject of the picture is. And then we go to select, inverse, and then we go to edit, cut. And that cuts out the rest of the background. That's the basic shape cut out. We've got the drips, but now we need to add a few more effects to it. So we can go to our layer, right click on it, go to blending options, open up the bevel and emboss section, choose how much of a bevel we want and what size we want it in these menus here, and then click OK. And that creates a bit of a shadowy effect around here, so it looks a bit more three-dimensional. And then we need to add a drop shadow as well. So we right click on here, go up to our blending options and look for our drop shadow, and then work out where we want to place it, how far away we want it, etc. so that we can see the effect we're after. And then we click OK, and there is our drop shadow. There you go. Really simple technique to do is the dripping effect, like we've got dripping paint. Very popular at the moment on the internet, so have a go at making your own using this technique. If you've enjoyed the video, obviously pop over to Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and have a good new term. Bye. Hi there, and welcome to today's Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers Photoshop tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make those really cool mini worlds. Here's one of a sunrise that I took over Hastings in the morning. You can see it's like a little circle, and I'll show you how to make that. What you will need though to make one of these is a panorama. So if you've got a phone and you can set it on pano, you can take one of these shots where you pan the camera around to create a long shot. Here's one of the early morning sunrise over Hastings, like I said earlier. Now to make the effect like this, what we will need to do is first of all make the canvas square. So we're going to go to image, we're going to go to canvas size, but before we do that, we're going to make sure we've unlocked the layer so it's not locked to the image. So we go image, canvas size, and we make sure that the height is the same as the width. So we go 10920, which is the same amount of pixels. Click OK, and you can see now that we have got a big square. Then we click on the move tool, and we make sure that the padlock's not selected, and then we scroll the top of the picture upwards so it gets to the top, and the bottom of the picture downwards so it gets to the bottom of the square like that. So you can now see we've got a nice stretched photograph. It'll take a little while just to transform that. Once we've done that, we then go image, adjustments, and we can make any adjustments to our brightness and contrast or levels, etc. Have a look at the brightness slightly. It's a tiny bit brighter, a little bit more or less contrast there. Okay. Once we've made it so we're happy with the image, we then need to go to edit, transform, and flip vertical so we make it upside down. Then we need to use a filter, and the filter we'll be using is polar coordinates, and it's found in distort and polar coordinates. Once we've found the filter, again it will take a moment for it to process. We click OK, and you will then see how it turns it into a magical little world, which is really cool. You can use this for any panorama or any photo really, and there you have it. There's our world, and I think it looks better if I rotate it by 90 degrees clockwise, and you can see there we have the sunset and sunrise over the beach in Hastings seafront in the morning. Now have a go with different panoramas, experiment with different techniques, and see if you can capture these amazing events of the sunrise or sunset or everyday objects. Okay, hopefully you've enjoyed that today's tutorial. If you have, pop over to Quentin Carpenter Nature of Flowers, tick that notification bell to let you know when I make another video, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching. Have a really good day, and goodbye.